Rachel. I'm gonna do some yoga with you guys this morning. So just a little housekeeping to start. If you have something you could use as a strap, that would be helpful to have. So you could just pause the video and go and grab it. And it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. It can be a belt from a robe. It can be even just a hand towel. Straps are really easy to improvise. So if you want to just pause and go and grab something, because we will use it at some point, it will be helpful to have it. Okay, and we'll just set it to the side. So as athletes, you guys all know the importance of rest, of resting your body, of letting it recover, right? Of working really hard, but then taking the time to just let your body settle and do what it needs to do to come back to a state of balance. And so yoga can help you, can be part of that process. Yoga can really help you to find rest and steadiness and calm in your body. But almost more importantly, it's an opportunity for your mind to rest. It's almost like, we have Shabbat every week, and that's a chance for us to rest. This is like a little mini Shabbat. We turn off the phone. We don't work too hard. We let go of things that we let go of things that don't need to happen right now. So I'm going to invite you to do all those things. If you have a device near you other than the one that you're watching me on, turn it off. Put it on Do Not Disturb. Give yourself this time. We're not going to do a super long practice today, but give your mind the time to rest. Now, I know for me, sometimes it's hard for my mind to just turn off. For my, I'm like thinking, I'm going, I'm doing, I have a lot going on, life is fun and good, but I'm going to give you some ways to help you do that. So I'm going to invite you right now to close your eyes and to just take a moment to adjust the way that you're sitting, if you need to, right? So you want to be sitting really comfortably. So just check in with your body here. How is your body feeling? Is there some tension or tightness somewhere? Can you make an adjustment so that you're sitting really tall and that you're sitting really comfortably? And again, I'm not going to keep you here too long, but I want you to be sitting comfortably. So let your spine lengthen. Imagine you could sit up even a little bit taller. Imagine someone was maybe taking your hair and pulling it up so that your spine, you're sitting up a little bit taller, your neck feels a little longer, and then draw your shoulders back a little bit. So you're sitting straight without your shoulders rounded forward. And then draw your head back a little bit so your head is balanced right over your spine. And now just begin to notice your breath. And you don't have to change anything. I just want you to notice it. Feel the breath coming in and flowing out. Feel how it feels on the outside, so a little cool, maybe on your lip and inside your nose as you're breathing in, and then a little warm on your lip and inside your nose as you're breathing out, air from inside. Notice how it's feeling in your body. Feel your lungs and your chest expand as you breathe in, imagining your lungs like two balloons just filling up with breath. And then as you exhale, feeling those balloons contracting in, shrinking. And just keep going with your breath now. So now if you want, you can start to deepen your breath a little bit. So make the inhale, that's breathing in. Make the inhale a little longer. And make the exhale, that's breathing out. Maybe make the exhale a little longer. And see if you can just focus all of your thoughts on your breath, all of your awareness. So you might notice that thoughts are still popping up. You're still thinking about stuff, and that's okay. Thoughts are going to come in and they're going to flow out, but we're not going to attach our awareness to them. So if thoughts are coming up, you just come right back to that, breathing in and breathing out. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Expanding on the inhale, a little contracting on the exhale. And last breath. And so this breath can be an anchor. Even as we start to move now, the breath can be an anchor for you to just keep drawing your mind back to. Now I'm going to invite you to take your hands onto your heart. onto the heart space right in the front of the chest. And just make a commitment to yourself here to let yourself rest, to give yourself this time to let your body rejuvenate, to let your mind be a little more calm and a little more still. And then softly just bow your head down to your heart, setting that intention for rest and rejuvenation into your heart. And then keep your head bowed low and just release your hands down to your lap. If you want to keep your eyes closed, you can do that. Or if you're more comfortable with eyes that are open, you can do that too. With your next inhale, you're going to arch your back and send your chest forward and lift your head. And then with your next exhale, you're going to round into your spine, letting your head drop down, letting your back drop back. And then inhale, lift the chest and look up. And exhale and round. So we're just stretching the front of the spine and the back of the spine here. Inhale and arch, looking up. And exhale and round. Good. Inhale and come to neutral, so not arched and not rounded, sitting nice and tall. Then take your right hand over to the right and stretch your left arm up by your left ear. And then we'll use the breath to just pulse here. As you inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, lean a little to the right. And as you inhale, lengthen a little bit, and as you exhale, lean over a little more. And one more time, inhale, stretch long through the left side, and exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, come on all the way up, and then just pause and feel side to side. Feel your right side, your left side, your right shoulder, your left shoulder. Feel any difference. Your right hip, your left hip. Then take your left hand over to the left. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, bend the left elbow a little bit. Now your right hip might want to lift up. Don't let that happen. Inhale, stretch through the right side. Exhale, bend the left elbow. And then just a couple more breaths, your pace, but going maybe a little bit deeper with each breath. And then we'll just hold here on the last one. And inhale, and come on back up. Okay, great. Let's come out onto what we call tabletop, which is all fours, hands and knees like this. All right, as you come into your tabletop, look at the crease in the front of your wrist and line it up so that it's parallel with the top of your mat. Then spread out your fingers nice and wide and make your arms feel strong. Bring your knees back a little bit. See how my knees are a little behind my hips, not straight underneath, but a little behind. Okay. Now we're going to move here with the breath again. So connect into your breath, find your rhythm of breath. And then with your next inhale, let your belly drop down, lift your chest and look up. And then as you exhale, drop your head down, push the floor away from you and round into your back. Then inhale and come back, arching. Exhale, press into the floor and round. We call this cat and cow. So in this pose, you look like a scaredy cat on Halloween. Inhale and arch. This is cow pose because they have those big udders with milk that drop down and draw their back down. Exhale, round like a scared cat. Press into the floor. And just do one more. Inhale, arch. And exhale, and round. Good. Now take your big toes together and take your knees wide apart and stretch your hips back to your heels and walk your hands in front of you. We call this child's pose. Relax your head, take your forehead down to the floor. I'm going to come up just because it's hard for you to hear me when I'm down, but you stay down low. So your hips are back on your heels and your arms are really reaching. Now really just glue your hips back there. Press your bottom down into your feet and then walk your hands forward a little bit more. So you're feeling a big stretch and opening into the sides of your body. Now inhale, come up a little bit, and you're going to walk your hands and your torso over to the left. You'll come off your mat. Every time we come off the mat, it's always a reminder to me that, we do our yoga practice on the mat. We find the rest and the relaxation here, but yoga happens off the mat too. So you can take that with you into the rest of your day. All right, inhale and walk through center, and then over to the right. Extend long through your arms. Keep your left hip back towards your left heel, so you're getting all that stretch into the left hip, into the left side. Good. Then inhale and come back to center. And come back up to your tabletop, bringing your knees back underneath your hips. All right, pressing your finger pads strong down into the mat. Let your shoulder blades come onto your back. So you feel like your heart space here, right in the front, can soften a little bit. Then you're going to take your right arm out to the right, and you can lift it up and look up. Then with an exhale, just sweep it underneath, and you can either land onto your elbow like this, or if you're comfortable, come all the way onto your right shoulder and your right ear. Then look, see how my hip wanted to come forward? I'm going to draw that back so my hip is nice and my hips are even. Then I'm going to press my head and my left hand down into the floor. And I'm going to press everything touching the floor down into the floor, and I'm going to turn. So I'm getting a nice rotation from the spine. The cat and cow stretch and warmed up the front of the spine. Now we're warming up the sides of the spine and the muscles that rotate our spine around. Okay, press really powerfully down into that left hand, and inhale, come back to your tabletop. I'm moving over so I have some space by my wall here. All right, inhale, take your left arm out to the left. Look left, look up over that shoulder. Then sweep it under to the right side, coming onto the hip, the shoulder, and the ear. I'm going to tuck my shirt in. Then right fingertips are on the floor, and I'm pushing into that right arm. I'm drawing my right hip back a little bit. I'm pressing my head to the floor, and I'm using each exhale, that's the out breath, remember? Each exhale to turn the belly a little bit more up. Getting a nice rotation in the spine. Good. Inhale and bring yourself back up to your tabletop. Good. Line yourself up. All right. Keep your left knee where it is. And on an inhale, step your right foot up between your hands. Now, look. I have my knee way back behind my hip. You see that? So it's on a diagonal. Then I'm going to pull my legs towards each other. I'm going to pull my right heel back and my left knee forward so that my legs feel strong. Then inhale, hop your hands up onto your right thigh. Good. Now see if you can bring your awareness into your pelvis and tip your pelvis down a little bit. So you're feeling a little more stretch. See how when you do that, when you tip your pelvis down like that, you get a little more stretch into the front thigh. Then keep that tilt of your pelvis. Keep your feet pressing down. And maybe bend into that front knee a little bit more. Now, if it's too intense in the back leg, just back off, right? That's a big stretch for the thigh. If that's too intense, just back up a little bit. Okay, now keep pulling the legs, scissoring the legs together, pulling them towards each other. And then last breath, stretch your arms up. And imagine that from your hips, you could root down through the bones of your legs into the earth, like the roots of a tree growing down. And then from your hips, like the branches of the tree, stretch up. Stretch your arms a little straighter and your fingers. Good. And then exhale and bring your hands back down to the floor. Come back to your tabletop. And then again, just pause. I like to always pause between sides because to me, it's always interesting to feel how things shift. Because often we just think, well, this is my body and this is how I feel. And yet we do one little thing, like one little stretch, and everything changes. And you can feel that from the right to the left here. Okay, second side. Take your left foot up. Good. And a nice long stance. Now scissor the legs. Pull the legs in towards each other. And that's like committing, right? That's like when we feel the muscles tone like that, it's like I'm committing to this practice of rejuvenation, of rest. Feel your commitment in your legs. Then hop your hands up to your front thigh. Do that work of tipping the pelvis down a little bit to deepen the stretch in the front of your right thigh. And then bend the left knee a little bit deeper, if that's available. If that causes tension or tightness, right, then you're going to ease out of it. And it doesn't matter how deep you bend into this front knee. It really doesn't, right? Because different people have to go to a different place to find that same stretch. But what matters is we're staying to that commitment of rest and rejuvenation, right? So if you're pushing forward into it, that's not rest and rejuvenation. So pause right at the spot where you feel the most comfortable, then inhale and stretch your arms up. Good, and then do that work again of expanding. So imagine from your pelvis that the bones of the legs were stretching down into the earth, rooting deep down like tree roots. And then from the pelvis, your spine is stretching up, your arms and your fingers are reaching up. So you're going in two different directions. You're rooting down through the legs and you're reaching up through the torso and the arms. Exhale, take your hands down to the floor and come back to your tabletop. Take your knees wide and your big toes together and come back to child's pose. That looks like this, head down, arms extended. I'm gonna sit up just because then it's easier for you to hear me, but you stay low in that pose. So child's pose is always a pose that you can come to in your yoga practice, in your day, when you're feeling, if you feel that you need to just take a minute for yourself, if you need a moment of rest, if you need a moment of rejuvenation. This is a pose that's really good to do that. All right, come back up to your tabletop now. Good, and now place your hands really firm on the mat. I'm gonna move mine forward, and then I'm gonna slide my knees back a little bit, and we're gonna come into downward facing dog pose. So make your arms really strong, really steady and strong, and let your shoulder blades, right, that's these little wings on the back, right on the upper back, pull them in towards each other. Imagine that you had a little acorn or a golf ball in between those shoulder blades and you were gonna squeeze it. All right, now tuck your toes under and then lift your hips high up into the air. So you're in an upside down V pose. Now, if the back of your legs feel very tight or it's a really big stretch, just keep your knees bent. If it's easy for you to straighten your legs, straighten your legs. And then imagine again that you could extend from your heart now down into the earth, pressing your hands down. And from your heart, lift up into your hips. Lift your hips a little higher. And then from your hips, stretch your legs a little longer. Stretch your heels down towards the floor. Even if the knees are a little bent, that's okay. You're still extending down. Okay, now bend your right knee a lot and let your left leg straighten a little bit more or fully if that's comfortable for you. Then inhale, straighten the right leg, and exhale and bend the left. And just let that left knee drop down a little. Press your right heel back. And then go one more time to the first side, bending your right knee, stretching your left leg straight. My shirt's untucked. And then switch, left knee bent, right leg straight. Good, extend out fully. Press both legs straight now, or as straight as you can. Again, you can always stay a little bent. And then inhale and come back down to tabletop. And one more time, hips to your heels, child's pose. Downward facing dog is a really good, it's another pose, if it felt very challenging for you, it might not feel so restful, but it's a good pose to do on a rest day because it really stretches and works the entire body. Okay, now come on up and we're gonna come onto our backs for a few things on our backs here. Okay, so you're gonna wanna have your strap or the hand towel or the belt or whatever you're using as a strap, just have that next to you and come and lay down. Okay, first thing to do, we're gonna take a hip stretch. So you'll keep your right foot on the floor and cross your right ankle on top of your left ankle on top of your right knee. Good, flex and spread the toes of your left foot. Now pull the right knee in towards the chest. And you can hold now behind your right thigh like this, or you can hold in front of the shin as long as that doesn't hurt your knee. You never wanna have pain or tightness or tension in a joint, in your knee joint. Anything that hurts the knee, just stop doing it. All right, pull that right leg in really close, and then energetically press your left knee away from you. You should feel a stretch like in this part of your hip, on your left hip though. Keep pressing that left knee away and keep drawing the right knee in. Now notice, are your shoulders relaxed? Is your jaw relaxed? Are you still breathing deeply? Take one more deep full breath in and full breath out. Okay, good. Release your right foot down to the floor and then hold your left foot in your right hand. So you're gonna lift the foot up off of the ankle off of the thigh. Now draw that leg over to your right. So your left leg is going to the right. I'm pulling my foot this way. And again, you should feel that stretch in your hip. Now take your left hand, put it on your right thigh, not on the knee, but above the knee, right on the thigh, and push the knee away and pull your foot in a little closer. So you're feeling a little deeper stretch into the hip. This gets into some of those deeper muscles in your hip joint. All right, exhale and release that. And again, just take a moment, close your eyes, pause, feel your body. Feel the difference in the muscles on one side and the other side. Feel a difference maybe even in the energy on that side of your body. Maybe there's just a different sensation or vibration there. Part of what we do in yoga is we go deeper than the body, right? We connect in to deeper levels of ourselves. And so sometimes just noticing things like how the energy feels or how a vibration feels in your body helps you to do that. All right, cross your right ankle on top of your left knee and then pull your left leg in. Again, this is one position, holding the back of the thigh or the front of the knee, no pain in either knee joint. So the more you spread out the toes of your right foot and pull that pinky edge back, the safer your knee is going to be. So pinky edge of your right foot pulls back. Hug the left knee in strong. Shoulders are relaxed. Soften your face and your jaw. Has your mind wandered off? Bring it back to your breath. You can just even say to yourself, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Nothing else needs to happen right now. No phone to check, nowhere to go, nothing to do, just breathing, resting. Exhale, release your left foot to the floor. Hold your right foot in your left hand. And then draw the right leg over to the left. Take your right hand, put it on your right thigh, and push away from you. So you're pulling your right leg to the left, and you're pushing with your right hand on that right thigh. Take one more breath. Try to keep your pelvis, your hips level on the floor. And then exhale and release. Step your feet as wide as your mat, and then let the knees rest together. All right, find your strap or whatever you're using as your strap. And then bend up your right knee and take the strap onto your right foot. So I have it looped around and my arms are straight and my shoulders are relaxed. Good. Now, firm your right leg. So tone the muscles of the leg. It should feel firm. You can even like poke around and be like, all right, are you awake? Are you awake? Wake it up. Wake up that leg. All right, so the leg is nice and strong. You're pushing your foot into the strap and then you're pulling down with your arms. Then stretch your left leg to the floor. And really extend both legs, the left leg on the floor and the right leg up. Now, if you feel a big stretch in your leg or it's hard to straighten it, you just move it away like this, okay? You can also keep the knee a little bit bent if you need to. If you want to feel more of a stretch, you pull that leg in a little bit closer. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck is relaxed. The head is released down into the floor. Okay, now take both straps over into your right hand. Take your left arm over to the left. Then on an exhale, keep your right leg really, your left leg, your bottom leg really pressing down. And then extend the right leg out to the right. Keep pushing your foot into the strap. Keep pressing your left leg down into the floor, your left heel down. Again, if your right knee needs to bend a little, it can always do that. Good. Inhale and bring that leg up. And exhale and release. I'm going to turn around because I have the wall here, but you can stay right where you are if you have space. And then bend up both knees. Take the strap onto your left foot. Stretch your left leg as straight as you can. And again, for some of you, that might be here. For some of you, it might be here. For some of you, it might be here. And just know you're on your own journey. This is your path, your yoga. And it can look like whatever it needs to look like for you to find that feeling of rest and rejuvenation. Stretch your right leg straight to the floor. Extend the right leg really long. Extend your left leg. Really push your foot up into your strap. Then both straps come into the left hand. Right arm goes out to the right. And then extend your left leg out to the left. Keep pushing the foot into the strap. Oh, I have a little friend coming to join me. Push your foot into the strap. Push your right leg down to the floor. This is Lotus. She's my yoga helper. She likes to do yoga with me. Maybe you have a pet doing yoga with you too. All right. Push your foot into the strap. Inhale and bring the leg up. And then slowly slide the strap off. Once again, bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. You can just set your strap or whatever you're using as your strap off to the side. Then step your feet as wide as your mat and rest your knees together. See, she's doing yoga too. Okay, now we're gonna move into just a deep relaxation, which we call Shavasana, which kind of sounds like Shabbat, right? It's really the ultimate moment to relax and to let go. So stretch your legs out nice and long and separate your feet a little wider than hip distance. Good. And then take your arms by your sides, turn your palms up. So the fingers, your palms of your hands are turned upright. Then let your pinky toes drop towards the floor. Close your eyes. Relax your feet completely. Relax every muscle in every toe, the bottoms of your feet, the tops of your feet. Relax your calves, your lower legs. Feel them get heavier on the earth. Relax your thighs. Let your hips feel a little heavier. Let your legs feel heavier. And then just scan the legs and the feet one more time and make sure that they're as completely relaxed as they can be. Every muscle softening, relaxing, releasing. And then keep traveling up your body. Relax the muscles in your belly. Soften the muscles in your back. Relax your shoulders. Let your arms feel heavier. Let your fingers release so they're in their natural curved position. Relax your neck. Let your head feel heavy on your mat. And then relax your eyes. Let your eyes become very still and quiet. Relax your jaw. Relax the corners of your mouth. And let your teeth just separate a little bit and your tongue drop down into the bottom of your mouth. And then scan the body and see if there's any place that feels still any tightness or tension, and just let it go. Let yourself completely relax and soften. Now let your awareness move inside. Feel the breath flowing in and flowing out. Don't change anything. Don't do anything with the breath. Just feel the breath. And let each breath guide you deeper and deeper inside. We all have a place inside of us that feels very calm and still and quiet. And you can let the breath just guide you there. And if your mind wants to wander off, if thoughts are coming, if a to-do list wants to run, anything coming into your mind, you can just come back to your breath. Bring the awareness back to your breath and let it draw the awareness inwards. Rest inside yourself, in quiet, in stillness.
now begin to deepen your breathing. You can let your body stretch and move in any way that feels good to you. You can reach your arms overhead. Make some little movements with the fingers and the toes. And then bend up your knees, placing your feet on the floor. And roll over onto your right side. And just rest. Rest your head on your arm. Curl up into the fetal position. This is called the fetal position on your side. Lotus is doing it too. Then press into your hands and use your hands to press yourself back up to seated. So come on all the way up to sit now. And I'll invite you to sit once again cross-legged if that's comfortable for you. And if it's not, sit in any other way that is. Rest your hands onto your thighs and sit up nice and tall. And think back to the start of class where we did this pose first, and maybe just compare how you're feeling now to how you felt at the start of practice. Hopefully a little rejuvenated, a little calmer, a little more restful. Bring your hands together onto your heart and just take a moment to offer yourself a blessing of gratitude, to just say thanks to yourself, to your body, for all it was able to do in your practice today, for your mind, for staying focused on the practice this morning, on your yoga, and for your heart. Softly bow your head down. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. I hope you had a lovely yoga practice. Thank you.